Hi, everybody, welcome back to Ox Talks. Thanks for watching the show today. Thanks for liking the videos, hitting the thumbs up button for me, sharing these videos, and please subscribe to the Ox Talks channel if you haven't already subscribed. Appreciate the support. I want to talk about something today that I think is going to potentially have far-reaching implications for many of us. Not for me, having my own business and my own side ventures that I work on, but for many people in this country that call themselves an employee or have an employer, they have a boss. And whether that is the boss being the federal government, whether that is the boss being your local or state government, or whether that is having you work for a private employer. And here's what I'm getting at, and I welcome all of your comments and input as always. The incoming administration is intent, and they are going to be cutting spending, government spending. Now, do we know exactly what programs they're going to be cutting back on or cutting entirely? No. But we know that big numbers in the multiple trillions of dollars per year are being thrown around right now. So I pulled some information just briefly. I did a search. It says the United States government employs over 2 million people in the federal government and around 19.58 million people in state and local government. Okay, so you have 2 million directly federal government. You have 19.58 in state and local. Okay, you also have a lot of people, 2.4 million civilian employees and 2.4 million in the military. Then what you also have on top of that is you have private companies that employ people, but they rely on government contracts. Okay, so not if, but when this new administration starts to axe a lot of these programs or substantially reduce a lot of these governmental programs or offices. If you are directly affected by that, meaning if you rely on support for you and your family getting a paycheck from the federal government, or let's even say from a state and local government, understand that a lot of these states rely on funding. If funding starts getting slashed to a lot of programs, it's going to make its way down certainly to the state and local levels, and that could impact your job. Okay, meaning you could get laid off, your time could get cut back, you could get relocated. A whole host of things could happen that would disrupt your life, potentially impact your family and those that rely on you every day for support, whether that would be children, whether that would be a spouse, whether that would be a sick mother or father. Whatever it is, I hope that you guys will start to give some thought now to what is your backup plan. Okay, do you have one? You know, I've preached on this channel for a long time about starting your own business, and I do get, over the last year, I've received a lot of positive comments, but some saying, well, it's a terrible time to start a business. Most new small businesses fail. They can't compete with the larger conglomerates. And all I can say is that a lot of very successful businesses have been launched during a down and very bad economic times. If you've been smart with your finances, if you're not reeling in debt and struggling just to make credit card payments and overpriced car payments and things of that nature, and if you're not of a retirement age where you've set yourself up and you don't need to worry about this, please give it some thought beforehand. Okay, I've preached on this channel for a long time about starting your own businesses. I've formed hundreds, probably thousands of corporations, LLCs, partnerships for clients over the years, doing anything from window cleaning to entertainment, media, whatever it is, doctors, lawyers, CPAs, professionals of all walks of life, and non-professionals, construction guys, contractors, developers. It might be time to think about what you're going to do if your job gets eliminated because you are working directly for the federal government in the capacity of a program gets cut or axed or indirectly. Let's talk about the private sector. I pulled up some information on that. It says the federal government, July 28th, July 25th, 2024, in fiscal year 2023, the federal government committed about $759 billion on contracts, private contracts, an increase of about $33 billion from fiscal year 2022. So you may not be working for the federal government. You may be working for somebody who your boss relies on getting contracts or work from the federal government or even the local or state government. Okay, so think about the far-reaching consequences of that. How many millions of people in the private sector, okay, maybe aren't directly employed by the government, but are indirectly relying on the source of those contracts to generate revenues to pay their employees, okay? So all I can say is a lot of people don't think ahead. We talk about planning, preparedness on this channel as well. A lot of people still haven't got that stuff set up yet, and they're going to procrastinate and never do it. I would say most of the people that I know in business sense, personal sense, they're not prepared. But this comes along with making responsible decisions, thinking 2 steps down the road. Okay. It's not as if the incoming administration is going to be able to immediately just solve all the problems. If you are going to going to cut spending drastically, and also saying that you're going to be cutting taxes. And look, I am all for a reduction, and I may lose some more subs from this comment. I am all for reduction in the size of government, okay, and wasteful spending. I'm also, a proponent, being a business owner, of lower taxes. But that, there has to be a give. There is always a quid pro quo. You don't just make these cuts, reduce taxes, and have no consequences. So will we see a major uptick in the unemployment in this country? If you also all of a sudden have a whole bunch of government workers that haven't been relocated to other branches or other, let's say, areas, and are now forced to go into the private sector at a time when the private sector will also be having to absorb, let's say, the spending cuts and the reduction in the amount of contracts being awarded out of the federal government. Just give that some thought. So if you have some skills you can harness now before the end of the year, think about how you're going to set yourself up going into 2025 with an alternative source of income. If you find yourself, on the short end of the stick of a program that's being eliminated or drastically reduced. So I guess that's what I want to talk to you about today, and hopefully you found it helpful. Just got back from my Sunday morning workout. I've been remiss in addressing the health and exercise stuff for a few months now. I'm going to try to get back to that because we are in very, very uncertain times. Go back and watch my video from Friday. We're in insanity land in the stock market. We're in insanity land in the cryptos and a whole, the housing market. Meanwhile, we have long-range missiles being launched between countries. The U.S. is definitely involved in this, directly involved in this. So you just wonder where the breaking point's going to be and what's going to happen over the next 5 or 6 weeks. But I want to talk about on this channel not just, hey, the sky's falling, we're all toast, but what can you do? Not only do you prepare, not only do you take care of your own ark, so to speak, and set up your own ark, but also what's your income source, and can it be impacted at the flip of a switch if a program or your job gets eliminated. So don't think because you're not employed by the federal government that this could not have an impact on you or your family, right? And what if a loved one gets laid off, or a close family member or a spouse that is in a capacity like that? All of a sudden now, if you were a 2-income family, you're down to a 1-income family because the spending cuts have been implemented in earnest. I'll leave it there today, about 10 minutes. Again, please get your workouts in, do the exercise. Don't be a couch potato on the weekends. Let's be more productive and try to just better ourselves every day. It's all we can do, better ourselves and better those around us. With that being said, appreciate all of you. Thanks for watching. Talk to you soon. Bye.